Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks. Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, Certificate Programs, Certificate in Food and Nutrition, CFN, CFN1 and Your Food. Block to Food Choice, Preparation and Preservation. Unit-7 How healthy are our meal patterns? Since India has a vast population spread over different states, there is great diversity in the food habits and food consumption patterns. A large section of the population is vegetarian, while a minority consume flesh foods. In this unit, we will discuss the adequacy of the various meal patterns. 7.0 Objectives. After studying this unit, you will be able to times list the variety of foods selected and consumed in India, and times discuss the nutritional adequacy of vegetarian and non-vegetarian diets. 7.1 Introduction. India, as you are probably aware, has an economy based mainly on agriculture. Though there has been a considerable increase in the production of food grains over the past several decades, the concomitant increase in population has offset the balance. The nutritional status of the population is a reflection of their food consumption patterns. Thus, before making any attempt to improve the nutritional status of our people, it is essential to know how healthy our meal patterns are. 7.2 Foods commonly consumed in our country. It is a well-known fact that cereals or millets form the main food item staple food in Indian diets. The commonly consumed ones are wheat, rice, jowar, bajra, ragi, maj and barley. People living in the north, northwestern and central regions of India mainly eat wheat and millets, while those residing in the south and the northeast consume mainly rice. Another common food item consumed in our households is pulses. The common pulses are Bengal gram, red gram, black gram, green gram, and lentil. Depending on the region, a wide variety of green leafy vegetables, roots, and tubers, other vegetables, and fruits are available. Therefore, seasonal variations and availability affect the consumption of these foods. In India, there is a sizable population of milch cattle, and thus milk is an important foodstuff consumed in the country. A very large proportion of this milk is also converted into various products for consumption like curds, buttermilk, butter, ghee, khoya, malai and chenna cheese. Animal foods consumed in India are eggs, meat and poultry, and a large variety of fish. Since India is also one of the largest producers of oilseeds such as groundnuts, sesame, mustard, coconut, etc., they are included in our diets in a number of ways. A variety of spices and condiments are an essential part of an Indian diet. These include chilies, pepper, cardamom, cloves, cumin seeds, and mustard. Practical Activity 1. List the foods which commonly form part of the diet in your region as per the 3 basic food groups. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. 7.3 are meal patterns, vegetarian and non-vegetarian. The dietary pattern followed in India is mainly a vegetarian one. Such a dietary pattern consists of inclusion of foodstuffs like cereals, pulses, milk, and its products, fruits and vegetables. This pattern has evolved over a period of time based on the philosophy of non-violence practiced by Mahavira, Buddha and King Ashoka. Religion and cultural sentiment forbid many people from eating foods of animal origin requiring slaughter of animals. This is the reason why some vegetarians do not hesitate to include eggs in their diet. Only a small percentage, about 20%, of the population in India is non-vegetarian. This means they include foods like meat, fish, poultry, etc. besides the above mentioned foods in their daily diets. However, the staple food in the Indian non-vegetarian pattern still remains a cereal. Meat, fish or poultry preparation is served merely as an adjunct. Even among the non-vegetarians, inclusion of animal foods in the diet is not generally a daily feature. This is due to the low purchasing power as well as conscious choice with respect to one's diet. Besides, religion forbids the consumption of flesh foods on certain days, occasions, and festivals. It is also due to religious beliefs that Hindus do not consume beef, as the cow is considered a sacred animal. Whether the dietary patterns are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, a wide difference exists between the dietary patterns of the poor and the affluent classes. The diets of the poor population in our country are predominantly made up of cereals with very little intake of other foods that are rich in proteins, vitamins, and minerals like pulses, seasonal vegetables, and fruits. Differences in dietary patterns also exist between the rural and urban populations. Since the rural people are engaged mainly in agricultural activities, they have a better intake of seasonal foods, as cattle rearing is also a common occupation with them. Milk and its products form a part of their diet. On the other hand, the poor urban population, which constitutes mainly of the industrial labor force, tend to consume inadequate diet. The high prices prevailing in the cities combined with poor knowledge of food value on the part of the workers are the reasons for this state of affairs. With improvement in the economic status of the urban population, there is a tendency to spend more money on clothes and entertainment than on food. Even when more money is to be spent on food, the tendency is to spend more on refined and prestigious foods rather than on protective foods. For example, people show a preference for sugar instead of jaggery, milled rice in place of parboiled rice, and more of confectionery items. While cost of the diet is on the incline, its nutritive value is on the decline. 7.4 Nutritional adequacy of our diets. After having a basic idea about the types of food, vegetarian and non-vegetarian, consumed by the people of our country, let us now look into the nutritional adequacy of our day-to-day diets. Most people think that the vegetarian dietary pattern is nutritionally inadequate. This image is being revised in the light of recent research. Various studies have been made to compare the nutritional adequacy of vegetarian and non-vegetarian diets. These studies have shown that pure vegetarians can be well nourished if the diet includes foods from all the basic food groups, as discussed in Unit 5, thus providing sufficient energy and other essential nutrients. It has also been observed in these studies that the work performance and endurance in vegetarians is superior to that of the meat eaters. The Sherpas from the Himalayan regions have demonstrated the adequacy of a non-flesh diet to prepare young men to endure the most severe stress on the human body, like extreme altitudes and unbearable low temperatures. In addition, a well-balanced vegetarian diet has nutritional benefits such as a trim body, and a tendency towards lower serum cholesterol. The traditional non-vegetarian pattern of diets as followed in India are distinctly different from the Western non-vegetarian pattern. As discussed earlier in this unit, the staple food preparation in the Indian non-vegetarian pattern is a cereal preparation while in the Western pattern, it is generally a flesh food preparation. Hence, the Western non-vegetarian dietaries have an excess of protein and fats which are associated with degenerative diseases of heart, kidney and colon. Those who follow the traditional Indian non-vegetarian pattern do not normally have the kinds of problems like obesity and heart diseases associated with the Western non-vegetarian dietary patterns. The Indian dietary pattern, whether vegetarian or non-vegetarian, also has roughage in fairly good amounts. This is one of the major reasons for the low incidence of cancer of the colon in India. We can, therefore, say that the Indian dietary pattern, whether vegetarian or non-vegetarian, is a healthier one compared to the Western dietary pattern. One aspect, however, which needs to be noted in today's context is that with globalization and increased purchasing power, eating out has become fashionable among Indians, leading to an increased consumption of fast food, which is high in calories and lacks the essential nutrients. The easy availability of the fast food and its frequent consumption has led to the problem of obesity among Indian adults and children. If this trend continues, then the situation may become more worse as obesity is a risk factor for several problems like diabetes, cancer, heart diseases, etc. However, the nutritional inadequacy of the diets of the poorer population in our country, which is of great concern. As mentioned earlier, their diets mainly consist of cereals, and there is a lack of foods which are rich in proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Poor purchasing power and large families are the main reasons for the diets being nutritionally inadequate. Lack of education is also a major contributory factor. Malnutrition and undernutrition are, therefore, widely prevalent among the low-income groups of the population. Deficiency diseases like protein energy, malnutrition, anemia and vitamin A deficiency have therefore become the major nutritional problems of our country. The diets of these people can be improved by using suitable combinations of foods and by promoting methods that can be easily practiced at home, like sprouting and fermentation. This improves the nutritional content of the diet without increasing the cost. Check your progress exercise 1. 1. Discuss the nutritional adequacy of the vegetarian and the non-vegetarian dietary patterns in 10 lines. Practical activity 2. Conduct a survey among families in your neighborhood to find out the prevalence of vegetarian and non-vegetarian meal patterns in your locality. Select a poor family, middle-income family, and a high-income family and list the types of foods consumed among each of these families. Compare and study the difference. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU 7.5 Let US Some UP. A variety of cereals, pulses, fruits and vegetables, and also flesh foods like meat, fish, egg and poultry are available in India. Cereals are the staple food, supplemented by pulses, milk and its products, seasonal fruits and vegetables. The diets of non-vegetarians include cereals and pulses besides the flesh foods. If sufficient food from all the basic food groups is consumed, the vegetarian diets will not only be nutritionally adequate but also suitable for highly active individuals like athletes, runners, bicyclists, laborers, etc. It is not surprising, therefore, that more and more people are now adopting a vegetarian diet pattern. The majority of the Indian population being poor, their dietary patterns are nutritionally inadequate. Their diets consist predominantly of cereals with negligible amounts of other foods. This is the reason for widespread malnutrition in India, especially among women and growing children. Therefore, there is a strong need to educate the people on the importance of eating a mixed diet consisting of a variety of foods, whether vegetarian or non-vegetarian. 7.6 Glossary. Cancer. A serious disease in which cells in a part of a person's body increase in number rapidly in an uncontrolled way, producing abnormal growth. Meal pattern, pattern of food consumption. Milch cattle, milk-producing cattle. Obesity, a condition of excessive body weight above the normal. Staple food, food used in maximum quantity as the main item in the diet. 7.7 Answers to check your progress. Check your progress exercise 1. 1. As commonly believed, the vegetarian dietary pattern is not normally nutritionally inadequate. If foods from each of the basic food groups are included in adequate amounts in the vegetarian diet, it is nutritionally adequate. In fact, vegetarian diets have been shown to improve work performance and endurance. Non-vegetarian diets are equally nutritious, but if the meat foods are included in plenty, there are chances of having excess proteins and fats in the diet, which in turn increase the chances of causing heart and kidney disorders. However, in India, the non-vegetarian diets have cereals as the staple food, while those in Western countries have more of flesh foods. Therefore, the non-vegetarian Indian diets do not necessarily have excess proteins and fats like those of the West. Thank you. We will see you in the next video.